Hello and welcome to the Turbo Fury event for the Zenvo Aurora Tur. Look at the specs on this thing. Like the acceleration and top speed are crazy. Oh my. This field is scary. The brakes are scary in the opposite direction. I'm not happy looking at the brakes, and I'm not that happy looking at the grip. So I'm already expecting I'm going to have to be delicate. Now, I haven't done any testing. I'm going to be blowing it here and there. Okay, good. Well, I called it the whale tail, but I kind of like soap tail as well, that a viewer of mine came up with. There's what this will end up costing me. It's possible, well, I know skipping would be cheaper. We'll explore that later. There's the total rewards. So costs minus rewards, just under $1 million R and 215 gold. You're going to find it very difficult to do it that way. It's possible this could have been done with two less upgrades than I did, but I don't know. Again, you're just going to have to watch and see. We're not going to do everything of every single race because that gets pretty long. So here's me, like, I'm blowing it on the corners because, man, you got to get on the brakes early in this thing. Definitely more of hypercar handling, where you've got to brake really early and then power out of corners. So we don't have a lot of grip. We don't have a lot of brakes. So that's why you want to brake early, get your steering in early, get pointed in the right direction. Here I'm experimenting with some drifting. It feels like it's all-wheel drive. I didn't actually look it up. I'm sure it's all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. We're going to go 4 times regular speed here in a little bit. Remember, guys, don't win by big amounts if you have to win. This is definitely all about doing the minimum, because this is recommended PR. We want to keep those upgrades low, so we got to keep the bots slow. So look at this. See, I'm reeling him in. I want him close. But I tell you, I'm intimidated. There's a whack of Bugattis and all sorts of tough things to be looking at. Overtake 5 opponents to win. So definitely want to drag this out, because as soon as you overtake the 5th opponent, the race is over. If you do that, like this is almost 2 full laps. If you do that really quickly, the game's going to say, oh, you're running really, really good. We need to give you harder bots. And now you're stuck. So you can only control that before you, as long as you're below recommended PR. Okay, that's the only time you can control your bot difficulty. So if you lose a bunch, you might be able to lower it, not always. Oh boy. So he's already the guy I got to catch up to. I'm not going to, oh no, he's not the one. Sorry, it's a different white venom that I catch up to. Okay, so at this point, like again, seeing these scary cars, Pagani's, Venoms, I'm like a little bit worried that I'm going to be in big trouble. Oh, but then there you go. There's the next 2 cars. Aston Martin. So we've got this Venom to contend with. Now, we're not going to go through another whole lap of me going hyper slow. No point in that. But you can see here, like, oops, I don't want to pass him. So you can rough him up if you want to. I've total off my windshield already. We're going 4 times regular speed. We're not even going to do this for very long. Let's warp ahead. Okay, so now I don't want him to get away from me after all this, so I'm going to overtake him here. No big deal. But that's still almost 2 full laps, so that should keep my targets low, keep the bots slow. We want it to be low and slow for the competition. And again, we got lots of these outlaps. Now, remember, with outlaps, bots drive in formation. And if you don't know what I mean, this is programming that came in update 8.0 and Formula 1 content was being added. I'm pretty sure that's when we had it added. So he's driving to the left. That means that no matter what, the next bot I encounter will be driving to the right, unless it's after the start-finish line. Let's just see what happens here if I catch him. I think I will. Now, you could be taking off-track cuts here. There's no reason for that. So he's going to stay way to the right, even if it's a bad idea. See that? He was way out there. But after the start-finish line, they will stop driving in formation. It's going to be individual driving. And you've probably noticed that, but that's why sometimes suddenly after the start-finish line, you can end up in trouble because they are not driving in formation. That's a Chiron Sport, if I recall correctly. I didn't get a really good look. I thought I saw an active spoiler. I could be wrong. But there's some monstrous cars to be contending with. Cars that definitely have better grip than we do in the Zenvo, or I should say the Aurora Tur, because there's 2 different Auroras. Maybe I just say Tur. or it's tur, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's a little too close to turd. And I don't want to call this thing the Aurora Turd, because that's the opposite of what they're going for. I think maybe it's a Danish word. I don't really know. I sorry guys, it's kind of funny, but Aurora sounds beautiful. Tur, doesn't really work for me, but that's okay. Maybe this car is a little bit of a turd, but we'll see. It's definitely fast. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a Gamera. Pretty sure. I could be wrong on that one, but I'm pretty sure that's a Gamera. That's a Gamera. Koenigsegg, of course. So that's like some nasty cars to be contending with. Now here, I did a little bit of cutting, just because I'm not sure. I don't want to do this all over again. There we go. There's what I have to be in, 3rd place. Now I'm just going to keep them close. I like to keep them within 20 to try to keep those bots low on the targets low and the bots slow. Blech. Win this race, or win the race. Circuit de Catalunya. So this will finish things off for Circuit de Catalunya. Again, I mean, it's quite the field of cars. It concerns me when that's what we're facing now. Like, what are we going to be facing later on? Here's another Pagani. FXXK. Oh, boy. These are some, like, they're driving slow right now because these are slow bots. So, but it's not going to stay that way. So this is almost like, I don't know, whatever. So why am I pushing it? Well, I really need to figure out the handling of this car so I know what to do at the next track. So what I learned from this track, I can apply to the next track. And I mean, I know I have to really back up my braking points. Oh, blew that. But are you noticing I'm already doing a lot better because I'm really backing up those braking points, sometimes double tapping the brakes, really watching my acceleration points. There's no way I'm full throttling this corner. I wasn't even sure about what I was doing right there. I thought about hucking it sideways, so we'll see. I'm going to explore with that later on. Sometimes with these really slow cars, hucking it sideways and drifting it through corners is actually faster. But not drifting the whole corner. Actually hucking it sideways before a corner and then taking the corner properly. I know it sounds funny, but you can drive it in deeper using that technique. It's not really drifting. So again, I'm going to slow down here, then we're going to go 4 times regular speed as I reel in the competition. And there they are, and then I go. And it looked like they were about to pass me, but they slowed down. And let's see, I mean, it should get more difficult after this. So no upgrades. The upgrades I show you, I don't actually apply those till almost the very end. But I don't stay with, I stay with no upgrades as long as I can, because I don't know. I don't know how hard this is going to be. Stage 2, we are at Monza, and there's a slipstreaming requirement. Now, sometimes they don't care about off track, and they don't care about what we're doing. All sorts of techniques could be allowed. So, now sometimes it says no off track, but you still get some off track. So here and there, I'm going to be using it because at this point, I'm just not sure. Now that was actually all on track, believe it or not. But at this point, I just don't know. Like, you just don't know if you can finish an event with no upgrades or not. So I'm going to push it, and I'm going to push it really hard. And it's hard to know what to do with these types of events. Like, do I try to find the hardest races, see how many upgrades I do, and then go back? Like, that's a strategy. But sometimes it's hard to know what's the hardest race. Is it a speed-related race, or is it a time-related race? If it's a time-related race, then you might do better off with grip and brakes-related upgrades. But if it's about speed, well, you better get speed-related upgrades, and they're going to be braking even more. So probably, because of the requirements of this race, I might actually start doing some cuts already. I might do a really high-speed cut here. Yep. This is crazy high speed. That was smooth. Wow, that was smooth. Like, that's not easy. It's really helpful. Like, this is a reason why you learn how to cut, you learn how to drive off track, so in events like this, it can be cheaper for you and easier. Now, this one might not be about that, but we'll just see. We'll see as we get along here what's all needed. Okay. Now that is oh come on brain. Why can't I remember? That's a LaFerrari, is it not? It's not an Enzo. No, it can't be an Enzo. Have to get a look at that nose. Okay, well, we're gonna see that nose really quick. No, that's a LaFerrari. I'm sure of it. Looking at the mirror. I mean, I could check at the end of the race, but I usually forget, and then it's gone. So, oh well. Okay, heading into Parabolica. I'm on the brakes crazy early, crazy early, and it says finish in fifth. Don't finish any higher than fifth. Let fourth place catch up. So now you got to watch. There's two bots there. If I let him get too close and I start blocking, the other bot might try to pass. Ooh, he's fast. That other bot's fast. So don't get too crazy. It's a soap tail. Anyways, you don't want to get too crazy with it. Now set the fastest lap. This one caught me because the fastest bots can be behind you. So here's one thing you need to know about this event, about Turbo Fury. Every single time you quit and retry, the bots get in different cars. So a slow bot this time around could be crazy fast next time, and you just don't know. So my first time doing this race, I was watching the guys finishing in front of me, and I just needed to beat them. I thought, oh, that's bad. Oh, I thought I better just beat them, and then 2 or 3 guys behind me beat my time. And then I couldn't do anything about it because I'd substantially blown my lap, so I'm having to do this again. And that's okay. It took me a while to dial in these braking points. I'm thinking in my head of, I don't know if it's the Jesko I'm thinking of. There's a certain Koenigsegg, maybe some Bugattis as well. Probably Bugatti Bolide, I'm thinking. I was almost using not Bolide braking points, but maybe not too far off, maybe Venom braking points, because I'm braking so far back, and it's just what you got to do in this car. And so that's what you got to do. Okay, so shooting the chicane, Ascari chicane. The bots always make a mistake leaving the Ascari chicane, meaning that they brake at the exit of the chicane, which I find so crazy. It's just, you never, ever, ever do that. Parabolica is very difficult to maximize in this car. So, looking at these times, last time I think the lowest time I saw was a 123. So I'm gonna go like 122-ish maybe, 121. Okay, and I'm gonna watch how close do they get to beating me. Let's just see here. Oh, someone's obviously right behind me. That's weird. How is it showing me slipstreaming me, but then the guy's that far behind me? I'm confused. Very confused. Oh well. Okay, so I think I'm going to be fine, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to keep going kind of fast here, just in case someone beats me who is, I don't know. What if they're behind me? Oh well, we'll just see how this goes. Hopefully my time's good enough. I don't want to go faster than this time. I'm trying to keep things tight. So if you have to win, you don't want to win by very much. You just want to win by maybe a second, you know? So don't be crazy with your margins. And that, again, is to keep the bots easier. Now, again, I'm still no upgrades, and I fight this. I fought way more than I should have, I guess. Because as I'm saying, I really did need upgrades. So maybe I fought this way more than what was necessary, but you just never know when it's a no upgrade event, like Bugatti Bolide, events like that. Now, I want to address something. Some people are saying, I've seen comments about this event, that, oh, the new developers are really making everything a lot harder. No. By the way, I thought I'm finishing way too early, so there we go. No problem. The new developers are not making things way harder. People are forgetting how hard some events were with the old developers. So with all developers, we've had events that required no upgrades. We've had events that required just our upgrades. We've had events that you pretty much needed recommended PR or more. Every single event, I encounter people who fully upgrade and can't finish, okay? So just so we know for different skill levels. But recommended PR, usually that's going to be all 3s for upgrades. Well, I finished this event with less than that. So in my book, this is still good. Now, for other people, maybe not. But I'm just saying, not every event, like Bugatti Bolide finishing that with no upgrades, they had no idea that was possible. That was really, really difficult. And there's been a handful of events like that. Not a lot. But all along. Like, we had some brutally hard events. By the way, I'm cutting. This car gets brutal as the tires wear out. We had really, really, really early days, origin of the game. A lot of events could be completed with no upgrades at all. So that's going back to the beginning of the game. Like, none of those people work for the game anymore. But even going back to like 2020, 2021, already there's a lot of changes in the people who were working on the game from the origin. I did a video about who were fire monkeys, who was slingshot, and I noticed there was a photo in there. I think there's only one person I recognized in that photo. If you haven't seen that video, you might find it interesting. It's super short. But I just kind of go through a little bit of the history because a lot of people had no idea what's the new logo all about, not realizing they've actually been running the game for a while now. But there was crossover. Like, what a lot of people don't know is that they're generally working 2 or 3 updates in advance. So all the time I get requests, oh, can this car be in the next update? No, there's no way it can be unless they were already working on it. No way. They, like, new cars, they work on that many updates, multiple updates in advance. New tracks, oh, way more than a few updates in advance. Like, it's a huge amount of work. So generally, so what I'm saying is when Slingshot Games took over the game, Slingshot Studios, there was still a couple of updates worth of content that the Fire Monkeys had done. But Slingshot had to get to work pretty quick. Slingshot's been doing some stuff that's really cool. Like, there's certain events that the old developers were just never willing to rerun for whatever reason. Like, we're finally seeing Formula Future. I am so ecstatic for that. I put in a request for that several months ago. I was hoping it would be possible at some point. Well, they've blown my mind in including it in the 12th anniversary update, because I told them this is one of the most sought after cars. It's also, just so you guys know, if you haven't driven that car, it's one of the hardest cars to control. It is an absolute monster. So you think the Porsche 919 Evo is something, you don't know what you're getting into. The 919 Evo is actually pretty easy to drive. What you've got to do in that car is really push your limits. But the MP4X, whoa, baby. That car, understeer, oversteer anytime you want to. So you really have got to work on your handling with that car. And I'll release some videos about that later on. I got to reel in the bot here. But I did a video quite a while ago about how to handle cars like the MP4X. For instance, Ferrari F14T and the MP4X, very similar handling. So those videos can be handy. We're reeling in the competition here. Just finished with the minimum. All right, there we go. Keep this rolling. And there wasn't much to talk about there. This one, don't forget you need that lead. I had to do this one twice. That was annoying. And for up to 3 seconds of off track, so that's enough time to do stuff if we need to, but we'll see. Just so you know, Formula Future, that event has not run since update 4.7, which off the top of my mind, I looked it up like a week ago. I think that's November of 2016. So I reread old notes I'd made on a web page and comments people had, and so I'm going to do that event from scratch. I've got no video series on that because I wasn't really doing much of that back then. Back in 2016, a lot of us were still using forums. YouTube was not being used by very much. Very few people were making YouTube videos. A lot of it was still a lot of typing in forums and pictures and maybe a quick little video. That's what actually got me to start doing YouTube videos. I'd be talking to guys on the fandom wiki is where I started, and they'd say, "Hey, can you just show me what you're talking about?" I'm like, "Oh, I guess so." And I didn't really want to, but I thought, well, okay, this is all by accident. Like, it's amazing how we get to over 61,000 subscribers and how far my channel's come. So thanks again, guys. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so one more lap to go. And got to be pushing it. Well, there we go. There's Santos. So I guess I didn't have to cut, hey? But got to have that lead, too. So now I can take it easy. I don't need to go crazy. Again, it really depends who's in the lead. That can really affect a lot of these races. Like, there's one race coming up where I think I reran the race for an hour, just trying to really dial everything in, and then I just needed the right setup of cars, not the bots. It was all about what car does the bot get into. didn't really matter which bot it was. So like right now, Santos is in that Bugatti. What is that? Oh gosh, my brain doesn't want to do it. Is that a Devo? Someone tell me. I think that's a Devo. I could be wrong though. I could be really off. But he's in a Bugatti. Let's just say it's a Devo, okay? Whatever. We're just gonna say that's a Devo. And I restart the race. Next time he's in a LaFerrari. Well, that's gonna be really, really easy. Or one of the lower level Porsches. Well, that's gonna be easy. So, like this car has crazy acceleration. So that's one thing we know. It's got crazy acceleration. Now I'm gonna keep on working on my lead. And I'm going to evaluate my lead after, oh gosh, Parabolica. There's the word. I was going to say panorama. No, Parabolica. And we'll see what we do after that. I'm going to definitely shorten it, but not too much. So let's take a look at this. Santos is really gaining. I'm just double checking. How big of a lead do I need? Okay. Reel him in a little bit. But I don't want to do this again. I've already done this a couple of times. I think that's good enough. Let's leave it right there. Okay, that's going to end this stage. Already, things are getting difficult. Quite difficult, actually. So here we are, stage 3, and elimination race at Silverstone or Silverstone. Depends on where you live in the world. We're not going to do this whole race. It's very long, at 35 seconds per car. Now, again, I didn't do testing. So, I don't know how hard this is going to be. I'm expecting Stowe to be a nightmare in this car. That was Stowe, by the way, if you don't know. Formation driving right now, so he's in a horrible spot. I'm cutting. A Vale chicane, I'm just cutting it because I don't know how hard this is going to be, and I just don't want to do this. If you guys pay attention, regular viewers know I've said in the past, I'm not going to cut until I have to. Well, I had trouble with this race. So I just thought, nuts to that. I don't want to do this again and again and again and again. So I'm just going to push it a little bit. So yeah, I'm doing some cutting. But after a bit, I realized I don't really have to be. But I'll let you see the cuts. You can take a massive cut here if you want to. I wasn't going to. Then I thought, I think I will. Just not so sure. But then I realized, I'm already in 4th place. There's several cars behind me. And he's not too far away. Now, braking right after the secondary start-finish line, bridge circuit start-finish line, that's how far back you got to brake in this thing. It's kind of ridiculous. And then we're going through like the whole Beckett's complex, Maggots, Beckett's complex, Chapel Curve. Yeah. And then blast out of that. So you can see I'm already really working on my race lines. Really working on, in case this gets really difficult. We've got to make sure that we're ready for what's coming. Stowe. Yeah, I started my turn too early. That's all right. And do I blast this again? Yeah, might as well. Now, I'm only in 3rd place? Gosh. Yeah, so maybe this is a little more difficult than I thought. Maybe I don't regret the cutting. But we're going to warp ahead here because you've seen what I'm doing. You could actually cut right here too if you really wanted to. But we're warping ahead a whole lap. I skipped a whole lap right there to where this is about to end. Obviously, it's not difficult. It wasn't hard for me to get there. You could do the cuts. Once my timer runs out here, I'm reeling him back in. Where is he? Definitely going to reel him back in here quite a lot. I want to finish this with him close behind me. Again, you don't want big leads. You don't want to be really far ahead when you finish your race. That's just going to make it more difficult and you'll have no way of fixing it. Okay, timer runs out. I'm throwing it sideways. He's going to hit me. Oh, it's an FXXK. There you go. That's why it was easy to overtake him, because it was an FXXK. Get drafted for 10 seconds and finish in 5th place. Okay, so I want to get into 5th place first, and then I'm going to worry about getting drafted on. So again, it's not too picky about how we get there. We just got to get there. So I'm going to really push it here. And that was a little bit sloppy. Got to be careful. You really want to power through Chapel Curve if you can. So the exit of Beckett's complex is very important there. Heading into Stowe. I might be hucking it sideways here. Oh no, I did pretty good there. Nice. And yeah, we're going to push it. I'll see if I can do this without too many crazy things going on. There we go. That was proper. You got to like it. Proper. Now, So, regular viewers, you might be noticing my voice might sound a little off. Yeah, I got really run down and got sick. So if I don't sound normal, that's what's going on. I'm kind of run down and I'm sick. And looking after myself, but I'm run down and I'm sick. That's part of why this video took longer to get out. Also, life got crazy busy. So, but I haven't had as much time, and sometimes I just haven't been able to do this. I haven't had enough strength or mental awareness to really do a good racing, so I just haven't. Just double checking the requirements here, whether I have to be in 5th place or 3rd place, or it's part of me being, I kind of, oops, I didn't want to do that. That's weird. I guess he hit the brakes there. Anyway, as I was saying, part of being kind of run down and sick is that I'm not remembering things the greatest. So sometimes I have to double check things. Like usually I wouldn't have to do that. You know what? In some events, you guys have seen me do that before. But I'm doing it more this time around, especially since I don't want to do more than the minimum. So being really careful there. Okay, so I'm only going to have one more lap to go. And I got to pass 2 more bots and get 10 seconds of them slipstreaming on me. But I think they're both right there. Ooh, that's sloppy. Yeah, they're both right there. So not a problem. Okay, so tip about slipstream, making a bot slipstream off you. You need to be reasonably far in front of the bot. If you try to keep that bot like 5 meters behind you, he's going to start wagging all over the place because he's trying to get around you. So you need to be in that 10 to 20 meter zone. And I don't know what that is in yards. I don't know, 12 to 25 maybe, something like that. So now, I'm going to pit the Bugatti. Now that's a Zenvo Aurora. I'm pitting him because as this next car is slipstreaming off me, I can't allow anyone to overtake me, right? So this is a slower car. And I do not want that Bugatti overtaking the both of us while I'm trying to force this guy to slipstream. Now watch. He's going to fall in place. See, he's starting to wag a little bit as it gets lower. Look at that. See, he's wagging around. See, he's too close. I got to get a bit of distance. Now watch him fall in line. See that? Nicely falls in line. So you have to know where do the bots want to drive. Drive there. Watch the distance. Try to keep that number behind you. Okay, now I'm good. I'm in 5th place. I've got my slipstreaming done, or my making them slipstream done. And no one overtook me. Now, I do need to be a little bit aware. I mean, I gave that Bugatti quite the pit maneuver. So I don't think he's going to be a problem, but we do got to be aware of that. Oh, what happened to the LaFerrari? I lost him. Buddy, come on, catch up. This is embarrassing. I mean, you bear the Ferrari, you're like the double Ferrari. So come on, this is embarrassing. Did you know that the FXXK is the track version of the LaFerrari? That's what it is. Anything with the XX in it is the track version. The SF90 Stradale is the first track version that could actually be driven on the street. First time they did that. Okay, all $R upgrades. Okay, I fought this way too long. I don't know why I fought it too long. I just thought, nuts to that. I did look ahead at some of the future races, and I went, oh my gosh, they get hard. So I know there's no way you're doing it with less than $R upgrades at this point. So then this is not hard at all then. After you add, well, it's not that it's crazy easy, but still at this point, I don't know how difficult it's going to get. I didn't look ahead all the way, so this is what I thought would be good for now. Okay, 10 seconds of skidding is required, and whatever the other requirement is that I currently can't remember, because it seems like my brain's a bit of a sieve right now, and short-term information is falling. But as you can see, certain long-term things are fine, like update 4.7 November 2016, Formula Future, that stays there in my head. And yeah, anyways, funny stuff. Right now, I'm not doing too much drifting, a little bit on purpose, but I'm not doing a lot because I need to climb the ranks yet, right? And still have like, I don't know, 1 2/3 laps to go approximately. So here I can get a nice long drift in. But I don't want to waste too much time. Obviously, I'm not too worried about it. I'm doing a second one. Half a second to put in yet. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. Braking at that start-finish line. Oh, soap tail. You know what? I guess I like that more. I called it whale tail. I'm giving it to you, buddy. I like Soaptail more. I'm going to switch and call it a Soaptail. So there we go. That name's catching on, I tell you. I'm seeing it all over Facebook and places like that. It's kind of funny. This thing, the interior on this thing, some of those gauges, if you tap some of those gauges, they actually fully rotate, and then at the back of the gauge is there, and you get a different functionality out of it. It's pretty stinking cool. I hope you guys like that intro. I didn't even talk about it yet. I did some research on the Zenvo Aurora Tur, and I spliced together some footage off of their website. Hopefully, I should be within the bounds of equal share. I forget if I think it's 30 seconds, maybe it's 10. I should be okay. I shouldn't get in trouble for that. Hopefully not. I hope I don't get a copyright strike or anything like that. Hope not. I hope that they licensed the car to the game. I'm in the EA Creator Network representing the game, so I hope it's okay. I'm raising awareness of this car. Let's talk about the car. Yeah, she's slippery, and you're on the brakes crazy early, but again, we're driving it with, well, now I'm driving it with $R upgrades. Feels a tiny bit more balanced. Not a lot, a little bit. This car might really come to life with full upgrades. I'm guessing it does. It's probably insane with full upgrades, but I'm not just going to give it away, guys. Okay, getting around Mr. Pagani here. Well, screaming Paganis with their, I think that one's got a V12, doesn't it? Screaming Paganis, I love it. They scream, a lot of Paganis scream. I love those. Love a screaming car. Okay, we're going to reel him back in a little bit. I'm in this turn a little bit too early, but not too bad. And there you go. So this is about how far I got with no upgrades. Well, this isn't. The race before this would be how far I got. Again, I'm double checking requirements. I know, guys, it's silly, but this is where I'm at right now. And yes, some of you might have already asked in the comments, what's wrong with me? That's what's wrong with me. Two things. I'm run down and I'm sick. So I'm trying to fix both of them. But I'm all right. Okay, this speed snap, this is possible with no upgrades. I did it. You can go off track. So that's how you do this with no upgrades. You would go off track right here to increase your trajectory into the first corner. But with these upgrades, it's no problem. At this point, it's absolutely senseless to buy skips. You will spend way more on skips than you will in upgrades. All right, well, that wraps up stage 3. Let's keep her moving here. Here we are at stage 4, and I'm a little bit worried because we're at Suzuka. Suzuka. And I was being silly one video, and I said, Suzuka! And now that plays in my head, and I'm like getting it wrong sometimes. I'm worried because this is a car that doesn't have a lot of grip, doesn't have very good brakes, and we are on a track that requires a lot of both. This is a technical track. So yeah, I'm a little bit worried. Now, at a certain point, it might be cheaper to skip. I don't think so, though. We're going to get to that later. It might not be, because you'd have to... sloppy. You'd have to end up skipping 2 races or do 1 skip and buy some upgrades. I don't know. It's possible the upgrade path I used is the best. I really wish I could have tried it differently. You're going to see why in a little bit here, but I ended up getting locked in. So I think it might have been possible with 13 upgrades, but I ended up locked in at 15 upgrades. And I tell you, I barely made it at 15. Oh, Spoon. Isn't this called Spoon Corner? I'm sure it's called Spoon Corner. Blue at Spoon. We're going to warp ahead here, skip a lap, because it's just really long. Now, I started getting a little bit worried, so I'm going to show you a cut you can take if you don't know about it right here. You can cut the chicane. This is also, I think this is no damage, so you got to be careful. You don't want to whack that wall too hard or you will fail. So beware of that. I could be wrong. Maybe this wasn't the no damage race. I thought it was. So I'm braking way back at that sign I just drove by. And I'll go through that again. I haven't talked about braking points at all. Tell you what, they're early and they're often. But again, I'm powering out. Are you noticing that? See, braking early. Now power. Oh, not a lot of power. Braking early. Power. Quick little braking point. Power. See that? So brake early, steer early, throttle early. So And I'm cutting more because I'm not so sure how this is going to go. This corner I've really got to work on. This is probably one of my weakest spots on a Suzuka. I would say that's my weakest. Oh, off track there. One of the hardest corners is that hairpin, I find. Okay, where is everybody? It's a little bit disconcerting. Braking really early for this corner. Let's see if I can do better. That's better. That's actually a lot better. Woo! Oh, that was way better. I'm really happy with that, actually. Max that out. Okay, well, I haven't lapped anybody, and I'm approaching the last chicane. So you bet I'm going to cut it again. There's one guy. There's 2, 3. Oh, they were all there. And it didn't say anything about no damage. I'm confused. I apologize. Okay, here it is. This one was brutal. So here I took tires and wheels up to level 3. I kind of regret that. Okay, and we won't get to that regret until later, but I need speed-related upgrades later on. Up to this point, I wasn't sure. Okay, what am I doing right here? My timer hasn't started yet. So he's going to pass on the left. The next guy's going to pass on the right because they're formation driving, right? There we go. They've both passed me. So now I'm going to pull up here, and I'm actually going to stop and wait for a while. You're not going to know that. I'm going to get into position here, but I'm going to splice that footage out. But I probably sit here for about 5-6 seconds. You want them to be far ahead of you. Okay, so look at my timer. It hasn't started. I need a huge amount of speed as I'm starting the timer. Now, on the left, not this, this. On the left, that's my braking marker. Okay, pretty well right at it. And you've got to really push this. Oh, I didn't quite push that as far as I could have. A little bit loose. But you're going to see here, I've got to really push this. It's really hard now. And come on. So with tires and wheels, with that change, I'm able to drive it a little bit differently. And that's going to give me what I need. I was at least 1 second short all the time. So that's just no good. So you can see here, I would say the top time trial drivers. So not just Group A, I'm talking mid to upper Group A can do this with only $R upgrades. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Lambo Coin, I'm sure you could do this with. Well, I don't want to say I'm sure, but you're really good. You're a lot faster than me. Like in a lot of time trials, Lambo Coin will be at least a second faster than me. Once in a while, I can be in Group A, but I'm guessing Lambo Coin could do this with only $R upgrades. Not me. And at a certain point, I realized, stop fighting this ME7. Get on with it. You need upgrades later on. So I know that much. Okay, so here's where it gets tricky. Can I have any off-track to spend? Yes. Very small amount of off-track. So that's about as much as I'm going to spend. Now I'm hugging it low to the right. First lap, it was far to the left because I was trying to increase speed. Now I need to save time. That was a good amount of time, actually. Went a little bit off track there because I was... came in a little bit hot. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Actually, that's the mistake. Got to be under 127 again. Okay. Blast this. So a lot of it has been working on, I forget the name of the corner. There's that certain hairpin. Even this here. You brake into this. You're braking early for this. Then a little bit of gas right here. Not much. You want to power out of this corner. You really need to power out there. That's where I often lose 1/2 to 3/4 of a second. And then here is where I usually lose a lot of time. That is decent. I'm not going to call that good. We'll call that good, not great. And then I'm braking before this curb ends. You might notice that. And then being very careful, maximize this spoon corner. I need to drive out of here really good. That's very good. I'm pretty happy with that. And a little bit here, that becomes critical. But again, like doing this twice, oh my gosh. I mean, I spent way too much time on this stage, guys. I mean, I'm embarrassed. Again, a little bit off track. Blowing it, but my time's good. I should be good. I think I should have at least a 1/2 second to spare. 5, 6. Oh, that's pretty good. Let's see what I got there. It just shows you the time for one of your laps. Very nice indeed. Okay, this looks like it's going to be really difficult until it starts. And then you realize, oh, I'm starting in first place. That's entirely different. And with the Porsche on my right, I was just showing, oh, I'm running steering sensitivity 0. Why am I doing that? I use my default as 2. Oh, I know why. Anyway, for some cars or some tracks, I put it down to 0. And then sometimes I forget to put it back. Okay, so what am I doing here? I'm drifting like crazy. What's interesting is, in a car like this, sometimes drifting helps you rotate the corners better. That's when you can't touch the brakes. And I can't remember if it said anything. I don't think it matters if we go off track on this one. But I decided, I'll try to keep it on track. Like, look how fast I took that corner. Look at this. Really interesting how you can rotate the car by drifting. So I'm hucking it sideways and I'm nailing the gas. Now, here we go. Yep. It's definitely all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. It's definitely not rear-wheel drive or front-wheel drive because of the way... there's no way it'd be front-wheel drive. But the way it's acting like one of those two. So it's very interesting that way. Way off in Spoon Corner, way off into the sand. And, oh well, I've got a pretty comfortable lead, which, well, actually I don't. It's pretty easy to blow that much of a lead in no time at all. I'm going to have to drift this a little bit. Maybe not. Careful lifting. Now, taking all 4 tires off track... Ooh, that was close. Taking all 4 tires off track will slow you down a little bit quicker. Like, you won't coast as fast. So, and here I'm going to have to really huck it. I'm building up way too much speed. What am I doing? There we go. Look at that. See how much that dug in off track while throwing it sideways? Very interesting. Oh, that's horrible. That's embarrassing. Okay, let's see if we can get a nice session of drifts going on here. Okay, that's nice. Nice. Keeping it on track. Yeah. Oh, nice. And look at that. All 4 tires. All 4 tires are squealing. All 4 tires are leaving black marks. Awesome. That's pretty cool. Okay, and I've extended my lead. Let's blast through this. Oh, it's a sweet. You know what? This is pretty fun. So you can have a lot of fun in this car, even though we don't have a lot of braking in here. And then look at that. Like, just grind it to a halt by throwing it sideways. Oh, look down to the left. You can see all the cars down there. That's pretty cool. Up and around we go. Obviously some pretty big topography changes, I would say, at Suzuka. I mean, it makes sense in Japan and the mountains, and there's lots of different topography there. I think I'm using the right word. If I'm not, oh well. I mean, I know topography is a real thing, and I'm sure it has to do with elevation changes, but there's probably more to it than that. Oh well, if you know what topography is, you can let me know. If I'm totally out to lunch and it's me forgetting something or what. I decided to use the wall to slow down a little bit. Want to be more controlled. I was going to try to take this road, but it's not a regular road. That's definitely not a road you can go on. It's not pit lane. Pit lane in this game, you can drive at regular speed, but not that road. So I was going to lose if I kept that up. Ooh, that's actually a pretty fast Porsche. Some of them are. Okay, let's see where we're at. This one? Yeah, I spent way too long at this one. Again, I kind of wish I would have used a different upgrade strategy. Oh well, you're going to see my acrobatics, and this will enable you to make a different decision if you want to once we get to near the end. Because I'm going to keep these upgrades going for a long time. Okay, very little off-track allowed. I just spent 0.4. I didn't necessarily need to, but I've got to hit speed multiple times, and I'm going to have to use some drifting to slow down. So I'm watching. There you go. You notice I switched to miles per hour. That's because in kilometers per hour, there was a decimal place. And it's really hard to watch for that, but it's easy for me to watch for 228. Some people will say to just watch to see it say, like right now, watch for it to say 204. Well, okay, the problem is I don't know when it's going to say 204, and I need to get on the brakes the exact moment it does. Like, we're talking like, I want to be, less than a tenth of a second I want to be on those brakes. So it's better to watch the speed and anticipate the 228. Because the microsecond you see 228, you can start slowing down. Now, I still have to make other requirements in this event. I mean, there's a lot going on. Okay, I've got to maximize my drive out of Spoon, okay? That's where the next speed hit's going to be, and I've got to go off track at the end of this, most likely. So I've got to really be careful. This is oh, nuts. This is a very hard corner to really maximize, and I blew it a little bit. Really far to the right, you want to increase your travel distance. Watching for that 228, there we go. And whoa, boy, I spent a lot of off track there. I didn't think I could brake in time. So that's why I did that. Now I'm not spending any off track. And now we're going to go look to the far left. I'm worried about speed, not time. I mean, I got to worry about everything in this race. But again, watching. That's deep. I'm going to throw it sideways a bit. Because remember, that marker, that sign, if I'm not on the brakes right, at least as I'm next to that sign, I'm going to drive it in too deep. So then you know you got to scrub some speed somewhere. Okay, I've got 0.9 left of off track and one more target to hit. This could get dicey. And I got to push it, baby. Let's go. Pushing it really hard. All right, there's Martinez. And first place. Nice. Get this all done. So here I'm braking right where the curb starts pretty much. It's pretty much when I'm going to be hitting the brakes. So I really, because I need my drive out here. Okay, we have a Pagani. And what else do we have? I'm not sure what else we have. I really don't want these guys in my way. Like, you'd think I'd want slipstreaming partners right now. I don't. I don't want them in my way. This is going to be very annoying for me. Because I'm not convinced on how they're going to drive this. Well, I'll slipstream off you a little bit. Now, I don't want to drive here. Nuts. Give me a push, buddy. I purposely did not tag him because I needed a push. Okay, come on, 228. There it is. A little bit off. Ah! Oh my gosh. 1/10 of a second of off track left. Well, let's not be spending any of that. Okay, I'm going to be careful. And I've been trying way too long on this stage. Guys, I might have spent 50 minutes on this. I kept fighting with no upgrade, with $R upgrades, and that was just stupid of me. But it's done. Stage 4 is in the bank. Moving on. Stage 5, staying alive. Here we are at Daytona. I was kind of hoping we might see some speedway, because I just love speedways, but oh well. Road course. All right, well, pretty well. This actually isn't too bad. You're going to think this is bad. I'm staying in miles per hour because, again, it's easier. So keep it low. You don't want to be trying to build up a lot of speed here because we have a speed that we have to stay under. And you could hit 200. Well, it said stay under 200. So I'm going to feather. I'm going to drive it in pretty late. Up there actually wasn't off track where I was, which a lot of people don't realize. Camara. And there's one of the slower Porsches, I believe. Am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. Hard to tell. This Aurora's got such insane acceleration. And here you got to get on the brakes early. And then I'm kind of drifting it a bit because I drove it in too deep. And then we got one more lap to go. Ooh, off track there too. That's not good. So here you want to keep it super low. You need the shortest way around this track. And then we feather the throttle, or you could feather the brakes. Oh, I'm hitting 199 a few times. That's a bit scary. And a little check here. What am I supposed to do? Each lap under 122. So it doesn't matter where I finish. I've got to finish either laps. So I thought, you know what? I don't know how well I'm doing. That's why I did that. That's not necessary. I just didn't know how good I was doing. So if I have extra time, I'll give it up at the line. So off track doesn't seem to matter for this one. So where am I at? 111, 112. I better give up. Oh, I better slow down a bit here. Let's see. Yep. 118. Actually, I could have reeled him in more. I should have reeled him in a little bit more. Ooh, that's way off track. Okay. Nielsen is right there. There we go. So I'm driving it a lot more careful because 122 actually isn't difficult with these upgrades. For me, it's not difficult. Now, I'll skip, maybe I'll skip the cut this time around. I mean, I'm still drifting this corner, but this is a hard corner. It's a big, I know it's not parabolica, but it's a parabolic shape. It's really big. It's a hairpin, but not a hairpin. So you can't really call it a hairpin. Yes, I'm checking again, guys. I know. Why would I have to do that twice in just one race? It's because I'm not feeling well. I'm not doing well. So I'm just getting it done. So we're going to drive this in. Now, at this point, I didn't quite know where to brake. I'm kind of guessing a little bit. Because I know if I brake, I can't brake too late. Oh, no, it doesn't matter. I'm feathering. Oh. I didn't skip that, and I'm going to have lots of time left, I think. Like, I didn't cut anything this lap. So unfortunately, because of the race requirements, I can't keep my lead small. But look at this. No trouble at all. Like I can give up more. Oh, yeah. So there's nothing. That's not hard at all for me. Okay. Reach top 5 with average speed. Now, normally in an average speed race, I would say drive to the really outside. You can't do that. You need to save time. So average speed will take care of itself if you drive fast race lines. So just drive it fast and low. And for me, it works out. You're going to see that. So I'm watching the signs on my right. That's kind of where I'm watching now for my braking points. And this really depends on how the bots. This is all about how the bot order. I could have passed him high. It's risky. Oh, wow. He went really high. I couldn't have. And then I keep it low. This one's difficult. Not as difficult as other ones because I'm still low upgrades. But this one isn't easy. I think this is one I had to rerun for like an hour. Yeah, I'm wall braking. That's right. Yeah, I spent an hour on this race because I thought maybe this is it. I thought I can finish with these upgrades. I was wrong. But so that's why I spent an hour trying to win the race with these upgrades, and I did. But, oh well. So, this came down to, first of all, meeting the requirements. Driving really, really fast, and then getting lucky with the cars that the bots are driving. So, I restarted this race so many times. If the first car you encounter is a Venom in the bus stop, it's not going to work. You're going to end up smashing into him. He's going to be in the wrong spot, and it doesn't work. And that's what I found. Anytime I encountered the Venom in the bus stop on that very, very, very first lap, or lap 0, smash. Now here's the Venom now. That's okay. He's going to get on the brakes earlier than me. This is not ideal, but oh well. Oh, they're crashing. Well, that's awesome. And that's throwing me way off, which is not awesome. Oh, and I'm not expecting that, which is sucky. Okay, I got to get ready to do an outside overtake. Oh my gosh. Well, I need one more car. In this car, if you brake at the start-finish line, you will not be safe at corner 1. So that's why I'm using some wall braking. I don't want to hit that barrier there. I mean, this is crazy technical stuff, guys. So I don't know if you want to be so acrobatic. You might want to add the upgrades I had there earlier, like now, or at least some of them. But again, we're going to look at some of the strategy yet. Is it better to stay with the upgrades I've got and buy some skips, or buy the upgrades? Well, skips are getting expensive this late in an event, especially for a car like this. The more expensive the car, the more expensive the upgrades. This car is in the upper echelon of Real Racing 3 cars. There is my 5th place guy that I must overtake. Sing, what's he driving? Well, I'm gaining on him stinking fast, so I'm guessing it's a LaFerrari or a lower level Porsche. Am I correct? That's a LaFerrari. You can see it from here. Woo! Now, I still need to hit average speed. Now I can go up to the right. Okay, because now I'm in 5th place. So now I go up to the right. Take a longer distance around the track. I should be okay. It's about to turn green. Yes? Yes. Woo! Now I can relax. I'm not slowing down. I'm just not going to worry about this. Oh well. Like, I'm not going to reel him in. There's just no way. Okay. There we go, guys. Check this one out. Finished the race in top 3 before running out of fuel and without going off track. Now, that's not necessarily true. Tiny bit of off track is allowed. I hate that the AI is formation driving for us coming out of the bus stop. Yeah, thanks. Braking out of the exit of a corner makes so much sense. Absolutely not. Okay. I'm driving this thing for broke. I'm driving hard. I am not going to worry about my fuel. I'm just going to see what happens. Is my fuel going to run out if I drive psychotically aggressive using every trick I know because I want to pass this with these upgrades? And this one I didn't have to attempt too many times. But I want you to know, guys, like I've been saying it so many times in this video, don't think that every race took me one try. I've been telling you that one race took me an hour. Another race took me about 50 minutes to an hour. So, of course, I only show you my good runs. If I showed you all my runs, it'd be ridiculous. This event took me 6 hours. Like my 3 hours of servicing, long gone. I blew through 2 1-hour things. So, I mean, I tried way too hard on this, which is partly why this video is coming out so late, because it took me a long time. Also, like, I'm just really busy and I'm not doing well and all that other stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not sure. Yeah. It's not enough off track that you can blast the bus stop. You need a huge amount of off track to blast the bus stop. So I'm just going to keep her pinned. Get some slipstreaming off Sing if I can. I might catch him. I really don't want him to be in the way when I try to use my wall braking. I think he's in an FXXK. This could be a problem. I got to pass him then. Or not. Ooh boy, that had me really worried. Oh, Sing, you're slow suddenly. Well, thank you for that. I need you to be slow, so I got to get around you. Okay. Oh, look at the entrance to this corner. That's kind of horrible. Another. That one's more of a traditional hairpin. Yeah, it's more of a traditional hairpin. I guess this one is too, but this corner always feels so different to me. Huh. That really is. It's a really big hairpin, though. Oh, whatever. Okay, so what are we looking at here? We're looking at fuel running out very fast. 3 cars in sight. I think I need just one more car. So, and I think this is a Bugatti in front of me. I think so. He's going to overbrake the bus stop. Oh gosh, am I almost close to running out of gas. I just need him. Yep, Bugatti Chiron Sport, I believe. Okay, guys, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to pin it till I've got no gas, and then strategically coast to the finish. And hopefully that's going to be okay. Hopefully I can pass with no gas. No fuel. You don't want to block the Gamera too much. I'll let him pass me. Oh, the Bugatti's far back there. This is perfect. Third place. Whoa! Third place is what I wanted. Nice. Okay, guys. This is brutal. So do you skip or do you buy upgrades? It's 140 gold to skip, 225 gold in upgrades, plus the R dollars. The big question is the race after this. Could you win that with just tires and wheels? I actually think I probably could have, but to me, that's just not worth it. That's not a lot of savings. I'd rather have upgrades, even though, I mean, we don't know if this car is ever going to get an upgrade sale. I'd rather have those upgrades. Okay, watch what I'm about to do here. Okay, I'm going to take it in really high and then drive down the tarmac. Okay, big speed boost for doing that. Next lap, watch my speed boost for doing that. If you don't do that, absolutely no way you can meet speed here. Not happening. Unless you slipstream, that might work for you, but you can't guarantee on your slipstreaming partners. It's a different car every single time. There's lots of requirements for this race. There's a position requirement, and then there's those speed requirements. And I just 431. I knew I needed to see 432. I'm in kilometers per hour because it doesn't matter. I'm not slowing down. Now, just in case other people are confused about this game has never asked us to do an exact speed. Like, they don't expect you to go 431.4 or 431.3, whatever it was. That's not what they're asking for. That's the minimum speed. So this game is either minimums or maximums, never exacts. Because, yeah, how do you do that? So, okay, so I'm braking a little bit early here because I need to really set up my speed run. Oh, that wasn't great. Oh, nuts, I'm sliding. Okay, keep it super high. I'm almost above the dotted line. It's really hard to be above that dotted line and not clip the wall, though. It's possible. I've done it. So watch what happens here. See, it's climbing, then big boost. I guess it wasn't that big of a boost, but it got me through it. Again, I've got to do everything. I've got to really, but it's crazy driving. It's crazy everything. It's actually really, really hard to meet speed. Like, if I don't do that drive down swoop maneuver, it doesn't work. There were laps where I did have someone to slipstream off of. That usually made me fail because I couldn't do that swoop down maneuver, that drive from top to bottom. And if you don't start that early enough, you'll lose traction. Now, I'm definitely using slide braking. We can't really call it drifting. I don't know what to call it, but whatever. I'm using every trick in the book to do this. I'm still in 4th place. I need to pass one more guy and hit speed one more time. And he's fast. Look at him. He's driving away from me. Come on, let's see that number shrink. Come on. There we go. Starting to shrink. Then it's going to shrink drastically. Perfect. So I'm braking at about the red sign on my right there, back there, right both. Oh, there's 2 of them. Well, that almost sucks. I need them to be out of my way. FXXK and a Venom, I think. XXK Evo and a Venom. Okay, I want to stay up high. Stay out of my way, Venom. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And let's get down low from here. Oh! Okay, guys, you know what? Maybe that is the lowest upgrades you can pass that stage with. There you go. I mean, there they are. Just so you can see it. So win this race. Okay. Absolutely no rules. It says nothing about damage, off track, do whatever you want to do. So that's why, again, you guys, the AI is horrible. That's why I think this might have been possible with less upgrades. Because of that. Because you could do anything you want to do. You could blast through the bus stop. That's really the only off-track cut that's beneficial here. But I can do wall braking. I can do anything I want to do, and it doesn't matter. Now, you got to be careful. They're going to stop formation driving after that start-finish line. Look at that Evo. He's driving it in. Okay, there's a Gamera. There's a LaFerrari. Going to stack up there. What are you... Ah! And I'm switching my views, and then I get stuck. I shouldn't have been switching my views there. I just was checking for damage. A few times with this car, I had speed-related damage without a cracked windshield. That blew my mind. There's the slow Porsche. That's what I found. Okay, and another LaFerrari. Oh, I mean, it is a pretty fast car. No, that's a Pagani. That's not a LaFerrari. I'm sorry. I apologize. That is the FXXK Evo. Nope, not Pagani. Oh, great. Some of you guys are laughing, I bet you. I think a lot of what I thought was a LaFerrari was an Evo. It was a Pagani, I mean. Oh, well. Whatever. So I'm doing this without not a lot of heroics, meaning I'm not going to go off track. But I'm already in 7th place on lap 1. So, yeah. I think this would have been possible. Huh. I wonder if that was really... I don't think... Oh, boy. Okay, I'll say it. Maybe a top 20, top 50, maybe a top 50 time trial driver could have done this with $1 upgrades. And one skip. I'm throwing that in there, okay? Maybe. I severely doubt it. I mean, really severely doubt that. We'll see, though. This could get really difficult yet. I'm in 6th place, but these are going to get, whoa, difficult bots. I'm driving it in deep, which means I'm going to huck it. Get some braking in that way. Oh, that's really great. That actually didn't work at all that time. It was a waste. Up high here, that's not off track. Careful here. 2, 3, 4 bots in sight. I know I saw at least 3, maybe 4. Okay, that's good. So obviously, I mean, I could be in the lead in no time at all. If I wanted to blast the chicane, which I don't. That looks like a Gamera. Yeah, 2 of them. Oh, tag, you're it. Am I damaged? I'm having a hard time switching views. I'm damaged. That's sucky. Harokosaki. Sorry, I'm thinking of a Harokosaki. I don't know what I'm saying. Sorry to any Japanese viewers if I just offended you. That's from like Ninja Turtles or something when I was growing up. Hamato Yoshi, that's what I'm thinking of. Sorry. Harokosaki, I don't remember what that is. Oh gosh. Well, if I've just really stuck my foot in the mouth, please forgive me. I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, interesting. That's a lot of Gameras in this race. Okay, well, I'm in the lead with a lot left to go. So definitely, this race was possible with lower upgrades. Definitely, a skipping strategy is possible. But again, it depends on your skill level. I was doing very advanced techniques, hucking the car sideways to brake, and so on. So that might not be an option for you. But you can see how I did this with those upgrades, finishing every single race, no skips. The one thing Tires and Wheels gives you is not just grip, it gives you acceleration. So acceleration doesn't... Whoa, I lost it. What happened? And then, oh no! Just when you think it's easy. Okay, and then they're on me. Now I'm blocking and trying to get my speed up. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if I tagged the wall. I just suddenly got all squirrely. I was getting too relaxed with my lead. Well, I don't have to slow down now. Let's drive it up into the wall. Kabushka. Okay, well, there you go, guys. Let's look at the, there's the total, there's the stage 5 rewards. And please like, please subscribe. Hope you enjoyed this one. Here's the video about Slingshot games and just some other videos you might like. Best of luck to you getting your Zenvo Aurora Tur.